Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how I've put together this Retrowave or synthwave style title in After Effects without using any extra plugins. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is to create a text. I've created this text. I wrote Retrowave, and the font I'm using, in case you're wondering, is called Mega Theme and is available for free on dafont.com. The first thing that we want to do is to pre-compose the text, because we're gonna do multiple copies of it, so it's better always to pre-compose it, so you can always go back to the original pre-comp and just change your text. So we're gonna call it source text. Gonna click on this collapse transformation, so it's still gonna look like that, and we're gonna do copy of it. This one is a color palette that I created for this project. And that's it for now. We can just have two copies. Let's hide the bottom one and let's just mask the top part of it this way. Then we could go into the bottom one and do the same thing on the bottom. This is because we want to use two separate type of gradients in this effect based on the color palette that I've just showed you. So in the top one, we're gonna add a gradient ramp. By the way, if you don't know what this is, I've explained in a previous tutorial. It's called FX Console from Video Copilot. It allows you to quickly access any effects without going into the effect and preset panel. Once you've applied your ramp, all you have to do in this case is to go and find the color that you want to assign to the ramps and move the handles. For the bottom one, we're gonna do the same thing, and we're gonna pick this one, and then once again adjust the position of our handles. Now that we've created the colors that we like, I think we can go ahead and pre-compose these as main text, and once again collapse the information. In order to create the retro effect, we want to add a couple of layer styles as well, so we're gonna go ahead and add an outer glow. Go into our outer glow settings, make it normal, make it white, and then we want to play with the opacity at the maximum and spread it out till we get something like this. In terms of color, I'm going to reduce it down to just below mid-gray point. And then the next thing that we want to do is to go ahead and create the animation. The concept is very simple anyway. What we want to do now is just do a simple animation. We can switch the layer to 3D, bring it so it's out of the screen, easy ease. Then just before that, we're going to add another keyframe. It's gonna go fast to a certain point, and then it's gonna slow down until it gets to the final position. So we get this constant move. Let's see what we get. In a separate tutorial, which is coming out tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to create this background, which is gonna go really nice with this text we are creating today.
Let's make it cool.
So the first thing that I want to do is I've imported this paper texture from texturelabs.com, and I want to create this jittery kind of paper moving, like this imperfection that you would see in an old film. And the secret to get this constant move of paper kind of effects, like if it's an imperfection in the film, is to basically offset the position of our paper texture every 4 frames. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 on the timeline, then do a keyframe, then in the next keyframe I'm gonna move it a bit, then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 again, keyframe, and then in the next keyframe. And this is our result. So in order to loop this, what we want to do now is to alt-click the position stopwatch and find in the properties loop out. As you can see, we can see our text. So we want to change the blending mode to screen. It's gonna be over the text as well, giving you this nice effect. But what I like to do is to reduce it down as much as possible, and what I tend to use for this is a level adjustment. And then if you pick a point where you can see loads of black and white, I'm just gonna bring up the back, I hope you can see the screen, until it's gone much darker. Everything else will happen in an adjustment layer, so let's go ahead and create an adjustment layer, which you can do by layer, new adjustment layer, or Ctrl-Alt-Y. And in here we're gonna add a VR glow and play with the Luma threshold. Then we want to add a posterize time. If you like the on-twos effect, our sequence is at 25 frames per second, so we're just gonna go with 12. And this will basically gonna only show you every other frame, giving you this nice retro effect. And the only other thing that we want to do is called CC wide time. it recreates and fades the previous frame and the following frames. So if you then add just 3, and this is our final effect. All you have to do is now to combine it with a nice background or with any other asset that you think you want to use, and you got a neat little effect that you can use for anything. Let me show you how easy it is to change it. You go into your source text. Let's say we want to switch with some Japanese character. I've literally typed Retrowave in the translator. Hopefully it will make sense to our Japanese friends. If not, I do apologize. Let's see the result. Those are some other examples I've created starting from the same scene. And as you can see, there's endless opportunity. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you like this technique, maybe leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!